Drew Peterson, an ex-cop who killed his third wife, found in a bathtub, and whose fourth wife is still missing today, no body ever found, is now looking to have his murder conviction thrown out. The former Illinois police officer found guilty of murdering his third wife, Kathleen Savio, more than a decade ago. Still unsolved, the disappearance of his fourth wife, Stacey Peterson. She vanished in 2007, never to be seen or heard from again. Now, Peterson has never been charged in that case. Earlier this month, NewsNation's Ashley Banfield spoke with the convicted killer in an exclusive prison interview.
Well, 3 of them at least have said that you were physically abusive. Did all of them lie?
Well, if they said that, then they were lying.
All of them?
Yes.
You were never physically abusive ever
No. Nope.
with any of your wives?
Mm-mm.
Did you kill Stacey?
No.
Did you kill Kathleen?
No.
Why does everybody believe you did?
People want to believe it. People want to believe that I did something wrong or I killed somebody because it's juicy.
Yeah, and now Drew Peterson claims his murder conviction should be reversed based on the fact that his old attorney never allowed him to stand trial, or rather to testify. I do want to bring in criminal trial attorney and NewsNation legal analyst Sara Azari on this. Sara, thanks so much for joining us.
Good to be with you, Natasha.
Sara, this is so confusing to me. Help me clear this up. I was in the courtroom this week covering this case. Drew Peterson wants a new trial. It is his own attorneys who are pushing forward with this mental health assessment. They want to know about his competency first. What do you make of this?
Well, look, competency is something that you claim during the trial because it's about whether or not at that time you're able to participate in your defense and understand what's going on in the courtroom. But more importantly, Natasha, this guy has come in multiple times, blaming everybody from his own lawyers to prosecutors to Hollywood to Rob Lowe, everybody. And he doesn't bring evidence. So he has nothing to back up his claims. You know, I think now he's claiming ineffective assistance of counsel because his attorney didn't let him take the stand. Now, if that's true and he can prove it, you know, he might have a viable claim because that is absolutely the defendant's right, whether or not to testify on his own behalf or invoke the Fifth Amendment. So we'll see. But his track record hasn't been good. He hasn't had the evidence to back up his claims.
Yeah, and let's talk about Peterson's former attorney here, Joel Brodsky. It's interesting because in an interview, he said, hey, actually, lawyers, there's one circumstance where we do not have to let our client take the stand, and that's when we know they're going to lie. What do you make of that statement?
That's absolutely correct. We cannot participate in something that we know is untruthful under oath that the client's going to say. That's actually a crime and it's unethical. And however, if the client wants to testify and we know what they're going to say is truthful, then that's his right to do that. So again, I think that if it's true that Mr. Brodsky knew that Peterson was going to lie under oath, then I don't really think Peterson has a claim because I think Brodsky did the right thing.
Yeah, and let's continue to talk about Brodsky here because in separate statements to NewsNation, he has said that he has information that could solve the disappearance of Peterson's fourth wife, Stacey. How unprecedented is this? How does attorney-client privilege play into this? He's under a gag order now. Do you think we will eventually hear what he has to say?
Well, I think, you know, the words are cheap, right? Lawyers can say, you know, we think we have information. First of all, what is that information? If it comes from the client, then yeah, that could be privileged communications, but it could be through an investigation. He may have found other suspects. He may have identified potential forensic evidence that was not explored. You know, there might be other leads that weren't followed. And so if that's the case, then the only time it's really viable is when law enforcement does an investigation and we actually know what might have happened. But until then, you know, you could say all you want that you have information, but what that information is and whether there's evidence matters.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.